before their trial was supposed to proceed that there wasn't a judge available and there was going to be no trial. And that because the Jordan timelines had been maxed out, their case was going to get tossed out. I have clients in the lawsuit who have had no contact orders breached 36 times. Their abusive partners are not put into jail. They just keep getting let out again and again and again, pending trials that never happen. So these are people who really are motivated to change the system, because the way the system is working right now is, well, it's not working.
What impact does that have? And again, we heard that in Emily's voice about what she's gone through. When a case is stayed because of a timeline limit, what impact does that have on those individuals?
Oh, it's the most traumatic thing. It's almost more traumatic than the initial, assault that occurred, because it takes so much bravery to go to the police, to have charges pressed, to go through the criminal court system, which can be really brutal for survivors. You end up having to go through a lot of really difficult moments, and then to be told, well, you went through all of this, but nothing's going to happen. You're not going to have your day in court. No trial or no judge is going to hear the facts. It's devastating.
The Globe and Mail is reporting that in 2023-2024, there were 525 cases of sexual assault that exceeded the Jordan limits and were stayed or withdrawn. That's 13% of all sexual assault cases, more than 1 in 8. Beyond the individual, what is the impact broadly on people's confidence in the justice system if that's happening?
Oh, I mean, people have a right to a justice system that is actually administering justice. And I think the public faith in our court system is really eroded, because all we read about are cases getting thrown out, tossed, stayed, whatever you want to call it. And also, reading about offenders who are not serving jail time, that, the catch and release bail system. And at the end of the day, as taxpayers, we're all paying to support a system that, is supposed to be giving justice to people. And that's just not happening.
Your lawsuit is suggesting that the 22 people you're representing, their charter rights have been violated because of cases being stayed because of Jordan. There's also the charter right to have your case heard within a reasonable time frame. So how do we square? I mean, it's as though there are two competing charter rights in some ways. How do we square that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question, and I know you there'll be like a criminal defense lawyer who's on the show later. And look, this.
一大早就想着，我一般都是听新闻，不想听这些东西。今天你别看下雪，这路上还可以，没有那么堵。开车每天大概就10几分钟，但是对我这老胳膊老腿来说，每天早上起大早，这都是一个挑战。尤其是现在这冬天了，真不想起来。
we should have courthouses having evening sittings. That happens in the UK, for example. So I'm not really confident about that, but I did also read today that apparently the Bloc Québécois is about to table a piece of legislation to amend the criminal code to deal with the Jordan ruling. So we'll see what that says.
Catherine Marshall, good to speak with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Catherine Marshall is a lawyer representing victims of crime in a lawsuit against the federal government. She was in Toronto. Daniel Brown is a criminal defense lawyer, also past president of the Criminal Lawyers Association. He's with me in our studio in Toronto. Hi, Matt. You and I have spoken about this before, but for people who don't know what this is, what are the Jordan timelines?
These are sort of the outer edges of what is reasonable for a case to make their way through the court system. More minor charges have an 18-month ceiling, more serious charges a 30-month ceiling. So the expectation that your case will be completed within 2.5 years, unless you've done something yourself, the defendant has done something to extend those timelines by delaying intentionally. They can't benefit from that. A defendant can't benefit from a pandemic. Those types of delays are subtracted from the overall delays. Also, when a case is extremely complex, those cases are also excluded from these Jordan ceilings. So there already are a lot of exceptions built in to this right to have a trial within a reasonable amount of time. But the question is sort of why is it that no matter what we set this timeline at, we simply can't meet those deadlines?
Why were the deadlines introduced in the first place? I mean, this is, we say Jordan, this was a case that was in front of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, so, I mean, the case, first of all, it started with a constitutional right, just like all these other constitutional rights that are enshrined in our Charter of Rights and Freedoms. The idea that we're going to be presumed innocent until proven otherwise, the right to reasonable bail. One other right is the right to a trial in a reasonable amount of time. Now, what is reasonable has changed over the years. In the early 90s, reasonable was 8 to 10 months. By the mid-2000s, reasonable was 12 months. What happened in Jordan was they actually pushed the goalposts all the way back to 18 months or 30 months. And the expectation is that this would surely give the prosecutor enough time to get these cases through the court system and give some certainty, because there was a lot of flexibility in the way that these earlier cases were being decided. So they said, here's the drop-dead date, get these cases done. And what we see is
哎呦，8点课了，8点多的培训，这磨蹭这9点了。哎呀，真是老胳膊老腿的，起不来。好了，就快到了。过了这个红绿灯，就不录了啊。